Tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, something changed. After a rancorous finish to Game 1 and angry fans demanding justice, the Indiana Fever answered in one unforgettable way. Not with words, but with suffocating defense, grit, and a buzzer-beating exclamation point. When the buzzer finally sounded, it wasn't controversy making the headlines. It was relief. It was belief. It was a 77-60 win that snapped a nearly decade-long home playoff drought and sent the series back to Atlanta for a winner-take-all Game 3. Game 1 left a bitter taste. Whistles that felt tilted. Calls that launched 1,000 social posts. But instead of stewing, Indiana turned frustration into fuel. Head coach Stephanie White demanded urgency and a desperation on every possession. Tonight, that's exactly what the Fever delivered. From the opening tip, Indiana set the tone. They scored first, contested every shot, and forced Atlanta out of rhythm. The Dream, a team built on perimeter pace and precision, never found its groove. 1 for 10 from deep in the first half, and by night's end just 5 for 19 beyond the arc. This was a defensive blueprint. Pressure on the ball, disciplined closeouts, and interior control that made Atlanta rush and settle for tough looks. The Fever's intensity made officials irrelevant. There was no single call that could upend a performance so complete. Kelsey Mitchell carried the scoring load. Without Caitlin Clark on the floor, a void that could have shattered Indiana's offense, Mitchell rose. She poured in a game-high 19 points, buried 4 triples, and repeatedly bullied defenses into chasing. This was her home playoff debut turned statement night. But the halftime narrative wasn't just perimeter fire. Aaliyah Boston anchored the interior. She finished with 15 points, grabbed several rebounds, and dished 3 assists. More than numbers, Boston was a force, drawing doubles, collapsing Atlanta's defense, and converting those coverages into open shots for teammates. Where Atlanta once tried to run through the paint, tonight the paint was Boston's realm. Natasha Howard embraced the dirty work, tough rebounds, contested layups, and a physical presence that made every possession harder for the Dream. And when minutes tightened, rookie Michaela Timson flashed, 9 points in 9 minutes, an electric burst that changed momentum and showed this roster still has surprises. Then came the moment that detonated the arena. With the third quarter winding down, Lexi Hull stepped into the spotlight. She launched a 3 at the buzzer, swish, and the building erupted. That single shot didn't just swell the scoreboard, it punctured Atlanta's resolve and kicked open the door to a wire-to-wire performance. For the Fever, it was a flourish. For the crowd, catharsis. Remarkably, Indiana led from start to finish, the franchise's first wire-to-wire playoff victory since the early 2000s. No ties, no lead changes, 40 minutes of control. That kind of dominance drowns out doubt. And even from the bench, Caitlin Clark's presence was felt. Standing and clapping, she fed off the crowd and amplified the energy. A visible reminder that this group is connected, no matter who's on the floor. Afterward, the locker room was electric. Players spoke of belief and resilience. The feeling that the team had finally earned proof they could endure, adapt, and win when it mattered most. Boston described the room as locked in, and the emotion was plain. This was more than a single victory. It was a reclamation. What went wrong for Atlanta? The Dream's signature spacing evaporated under pressure. Forced tempo and collapsing lanes led to rushed shots and turnovers. When a team that thrives on the three-point line goes 5 of 19, you don't come back from that in playoff basketball. Now the series flips to Atlanta, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Game 3 is a winner-take-all. The Fever travel as a different team than they were a week ago. Battle-tested, resilient, and confident they can replicate the blueprint that locked the Dream down. But Gateway Center Arena will be loud, hostile, and hungry for their own redemption. This night was a message. Indiana refused to be defined by controversy or absence. They fought through injuries, they shared the workload, and they turned defense into destiny. Whether the Fever can finish the job in Atlanta remains to be seen. But tonight, at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, they reminded everyone what this franchise stands for. Toughness, togetherness, and a belief that nothing lasts forever. Not droughts, not bad calls, not doubt. The series is tied. The drama is just getting started. If this fired you up, drop a "Let's Go Fever" in the comments. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned. We'll be watching Game 3 and breaking down every play.